Hi, I'm Paul. I'm the Vicar of Christ the King Church. And I just wanted to share with you a short reflection on Psalm 23, a poem that we find in the Bible written many, many years ago, but which I believe has some important things to say to us at this present time. Confidence in the future and contentment in the present are a couple of difficult things to come by right now. Whether we look at our own personal situation, whether we look at our families or what's going on in our community, whether we look at our economy or our healthcare system or our plans to go away on holiday. Confidence in the future and contentment in the present we may find difficult to find right now. So where can we look? Well, I believe this psalm, Psalm 23, often referred to as the Shepherd Psalm, has something powerful to say to us in the context of our current situation. It's called the Shepherd Psalm, but actually it picks up on a couple of different pictures. First of all, it presents the Lord as our good shepherd. But then in the second part of the psalm, we see God the Lord as the host of a great feast to which we are the invited guests. And so let's hear Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He refreshes my soul. He guides me along the right paths for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. In the Old Testament part of the Bible, that part of the Bible, the first 3/4 of the Bible that describes God's relationship with the world and his people before the coming of Jesus. In that part of the Bible where we find this psalm, God's people Israel had many leaders over them, but many of them did not do a good job. They were supposed to lead and shepherd the people, but often they failed miserably in that task, either deliberately or through neglect. In this psalm, by contrast, we see God himself as the good shepherd. God, the one who will unfailingly and consistently care, provide, protect, and lead his people. And secure in that knowledge, the writer of this psalm, who was himself a shepherd, he can contentedly say, right at the beginning, I lack nothing. And this good shepherd, God, the Lord, will also always lead us and guide us to do those things which are consistent with his character and nature, even though our tendency is often to wander off, as sheep have a habit of doing. God is faithful in coming after us, in coming to find us, and bring us back to those ways in which God would lead us, those ways which will only be of blessing and good for us. And even in the dark times, even in our loneliness, our fear and anxiety and worry and loss and grief, even in death, this Good Shepherd is still with us. And notice how the language in the psalm changes as we go through. At the beginning, the writer of the psalm is talking about God. The Lord is my shepherd, he makes me lie down in green pastures. But it's when the writer of the psalm is going through his most difficult time. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, you may have heard that as, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Even at this most difficult time, God is with him. And at this time he doesn't talk about God, but he talks to God. I fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Whatever difficulties you may be facing right now, whatever longing for peace you have in your situation, can I encourage you to talk to God about that? And then, of course, the picture changes in the latter part of the psalm from this picture of the protection of a rural shepherd to the picture of a great victory feast with God himself as the host and us as the invited guests, lavishly provided for. And there's a common theme between these two different pictures, that the Lord himself, our loving, caring, merciful, gracious God, takes total responsibility for caring and providing for us. Whether that is providing as a shepherd does for his sheep, or whether it is providing as a gracious host does for his guests, his friends. And this psalm then concludes on a great note of confidence. Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. This word surely here is not just a hopeful expression, some kind of wishful thinking, wouldn't it be nice if, but really I know it won't. This here is a statement of certainty based on and grounded in the promise of God, the promise of the Good Shepherd, that he is powerful enough, that he is loving enough, that he is caring enough, that he knows us well enough to provide and care and lead and guide and protect. And this promise is not just for today, but this promise lasts to eternity. Contentment in the present, confidence in the future. Can I encourage you to let the Good Shepherd speak into those situations for you? And so let's conclude with the words of the Lord's Prayer. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our sins as we forgive those who sin against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For the kingdom, the power, and the glory are yours, now and forever. Amen. As you go through the rest of this day and into the week ahead, I pray that you would know the Good Shepherd with you, leading, guiding, and blessing you.